because they say that, Warhammer copied everything. Of course, they took inspiration from everything.
Who didn't?
Like Star Troopers.
Who didn't?
Everyone loves Henry Cavill, but he's had a series of L's, like, kind of back to back. And it sucks for him because he's constantly getting put in these things where someone else has control. If he's got the control and the money, I'm very hopeful. If there's other mitigating circumstances, that starts to change things.
Substantial movies and TV shows, not just slop content that is slapped in our faces. So Henry Cavill upcoming fantasy series will fix your biggest complaint about The Witcher, which is probably integrity of characterization and, universe representation. So Tsunami, take it away.
Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40K is in development after years of hints and suggestions by the actor that he wants to bring the tabletop game to the screen. And while we still don't have a lot of information about it, it does sound like it will fix a common Witcher complaint. Cavill's Warhammer 40K TV show has been both a proudly hoped for adaptation and a mystery. Cavill has frequently espoused his love for the franchise, born as a tabletop RPG, and yet we still know very little about his show. However, with Cavill in charge, the lore of Warhammer 40K should remain intact. This is a particularly important point because Cavill's previous video game adjacent franchise adaptation, The Witcher, has frequently been criticized for how it has disregarded the franchise's lore. Warhammer 40K, on the other hand, has Cavill as a producer, which means it should stick to the lore. Expect Henry Cavill's Warhammer series to be more authentic than Netflix's The Witcher. Each season of The Witcher seems to stray further and further from established lore. While that's not always a problem in adaptations, it is for The Witchers. And the series misses out on some key elements that would elevate it. It's been speculated, but never confirmed, that Cavill left in part because The Witcher strayed from its source material. There are several examples of Henry Cavill explaining his love for Warhammer 40K, even before it seemed like he was interested in making a show, so fans of the franchise can be sure it's in good hands. His experience with The Witcher has likely inspired him to make a show that hews closer to its source. The popular memes of Cavill demanding writers to read the codex, or that he's working until the early hours of the morning correcting words and story details are in no way based in reality. However, these Chuck Norris-style memes do suggest that fans are well aware and expectant of Cavill's respect for the franchise. The live-action Warhammer series can only succeed if it's faithful to the lore. There is so much lore in Warhammer 40K that one Warhammer 40K TV show could never cover it all. It also means that if the live-action series strays too far from the lore, it will be pointless. The Warhammer universe is such a big sandbox that you should be able to tell whatever story you want within its confines. It won't be easy, however. The biggest events in the Warhammer 40K universe are separated by 10,000 years. With those events are literally hundreds of plots that could all make up for a season of a TV show. Cavill will have his work cut out for him trying to decide on which one is best for a series. What has fans so excited about Cavill's Warhammer 40K show is to finally see characters, monsters, and soldiers make the leap from their painting benches to a TV show. If the series decides to invent its own factions or unrecognizable characters and stories, it may end up being a disappointment. End article.
Okay, so this is another opinion piece. Basically, it's not news, unfortunately. I mean, this is what we also think, based on everything that we know, that the 40K shows are going to be much more faithful to 40K, and he's going to see to it. However, that thing that we covered before with the correcting lines and everything, we still don't know if that was a fake article. That was never confirmed or denied. Some people thought it was, but that's it. That there's never a confirmation that this is fake or not. I wouldn't be surprised if he would, because everything that is written is going to go through him. Now, a lot of people think that producer is not a big deal. However, he's an executive producer, and this title can mean a lot of things. In movies, often it doesn't mean that much. But for TV shows, it's different. It's different, and he signed from the very beginning to be the head of this whole project. So he's just like basically James Gunn would be to the DC universe.
It's also reminiscent of Michael Usman, who produced the first Batman movie, which he put on the work. He was the comic book fan who did this, who had the vision. So without him, it wouldn't happen. So here, Henry now is the producer, who is the fan, also the executive, who is going to make it happen. So that's why I think that we are in good hands.
He's not just the guy who signs stuff.
Yeah, he will know, okay, if we have to adapt something, how to adapt it. There is no, I don't think that there is something that is unadaptable, because they kept saying that for Watchmen back in the days, and Zack Snyder proved
Zack
people
Snyder
wrong.
did it.
So I think that Henry will know how to adapt it, because he knows the lore, he's a fan, he will know which should be there, which, if we have to change something, how to change it, but still stay respectful to the lore.
Yeah.
And to the
Absolutely.
fans, of course, because we don't want to see again some characters that are not the characters that are supposed to be. Yeah.
So, for me, this was an ongoing conversation also between me and Chainsword. I'm on the positive side. He's like, no, this is gonna be another disaster. So I understand that. I mean, I understand that people think that this is going to be, well, Warhammer is now entering the mainstream, so it's gonna suck. Depends on who does it. Depends on who does it. There's many questions, of course, because we don't know where Henry wants to start. But he did say, like from the very beginning, that they had a lot of meetings, that the universe of Warhammer 40K is vast, so they have to decide from where to start. And of course, this is super essential. So the bigger audience that is not that familiar with Warhammer 40K will actually grasp the idea of what 40K is. It's very important. This is not Dune, this is not Star Wars. They all shine in their respective ways. However, 40K is bigger than all of them put together.
Absolutely.
And even bigger than that. So it is essential for everybody to just get into it, get the idea. Of course, you can start from small stories, but you're missing out on all the lore and why everything is like it is. I think this should be explained, like the Emperor, Terra, and then the factions of the aliens. I mean, the Xenos and whatever. That's how you should do it. The Chaos Gods. You start from where everything started, which is Terra, Earth.
To make a parallel with comic books again, because that's my thing. I think that if you start with the smaller stories, this will be like starting your comic book movie universe with the C-listers. And, nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants another creature commanders or things that you should start with the big things. And that's it. That's how you get people.
Yeah, also all the main characters, like the Emperor, he's an enigma, he's so interesting and layered, and he does so many contradictory things. This is super fascinating, especially if you do it right. There's been numerous books in which his character shines like the last church. It's just so fascinating. It's why I love Warhammer, because it just represents this very messy universe, but all the characters and how things work there is different from anything else that we've seen. Although it does take inspiration from a ton of things, doesn't mean that it's not original by the elements that it combines. So that is something that nobody thinks about, because they say that, Warhammer copied everything. Of course, they took inspiration from everything.
Who didn't?
Like Stormtroopers. Everybody did that.
Yeah,
but how it looks... How it looks, like the style of it, and how, Astartes, super soldiers, how they work there, how Custodes are, how the Emperor is, how Primarchs, what they are, all of that, how the Astra Militarum is, Sisters of Battle, Sisters of Science, all of that is so unique. It has its own signature and look and style, and that to be brought to screen is going to be mind-blowingly awesome. They can do so much with it, like endless amounts of content. But when I say content, I just mean hopefully meaningful, substantial movies and TV shows, not just slop content that is slapped in our faces. Final words, actually, Tsunami, what do you think, actually? Do we have any hope? Because Henry is there as the lead.
Yeah, I mean, at least there's someone there that's thinking about this shit. One of the things that constantly keeps coming into my brain as we're talking about this is budget. What kind of budget? Like, what are they going to give him money-wise? It's not like Amazon has any fucking troubles. They have, like, fuck you money. But they have had a series of, like, major losses. Or Rings of Power. They're still stuck with that mess. Wheel of Time, etc. And so that's worrisome. But I mean, there's a lot of info out there if they're looking at it. And if I was Cavill, I mean, everyone loves Henry Cavill, but he's had a series of L's, like, kind of back to back, and it sucks for him because he's constantly getting put in these things where someone else has control. If he's got the control and the money, I'm very hopeful. If there's other mitigating circumstances, that starts to change things. But I got my fingers crossed like everyone else. I'm really hopeful that, they can do something great here, because honestly, this is going to last a minimum of a decade, if not more, and spawn all kinds of extra side projects.
Yeah.
So they'd be stupid to not take advantage of this completely.
The S stands for hope.
The S stands for hope.
Yes.
Yes, he's Superman to us.
For the imperium must not fail. Imperium we prevail. The warriors march with sacred might. Their purpose burning crystal bright. To lift the throne world from its plight and guard humanity's light.